So I thought I'll run you through a little bit of a video of about 2 minutes. So that gives you all the installations we have, inventory of the installations we have in the group. This is the installations we have in the group as of today. We're going to fast track the installations in the years to come. We're going to use a lot more solar in feed plant productions, water heating systems, preheat the water before it goes into the boiler so you can use less amount of firewood and briquettes to get into steam. So I'm going to explain to you what is grid and off-grid, battery, online, offline, everything. Doctor said, why don't you, I want a practical example of usage of solar and what the saving of electricity in terms of rupees and paisa, right? So we took a case study. We're using a fully solar plant in Tanang, which is Maharashtra. It's a 5-ton per hour mash feed plant. Only plant is used only for our breeders. So prior to solar in the calendar year 2018, the number of tons we produced, number of Maharashtra electricity bill units, cost per ton was about 80 rupees on a mash plant. And then when we went fully solar, then we produced a lot more tonnage in calendar year 2021, and then we dropped down to 40 rupees, 44 rupees a ton. So this is a case study we have. I can give you a lot more case studies. Since the paucity of time of 15 minutes, I've taken one location as a case study. But there's massive reduction in the OPEX, monthly electricity bill. We've got two different types of solar system. One is we've got off-grid and on-grid. If you go on-grid, you can actually produce electricity, feed it in. Grid in the sense it's a utility company. It can be BESCOM, it can be MSCB, it can be TNEB, Kerala Electricity Board. That's called the grid. So if you produce electricity during the daytime when you have radiation, you feed it into the grid, it's online, and you get into net metering, so you don't have to use a battery bank. And if you're looking at around on grid without battery, you're looking at a cost of investment of about 50 to 52, 53,000 per kWh, approximately. And if you do off grid, what is off grid? You produce electricity and you store it in the battery. So off grid, you need battery banks, massive amount of battery banks. I think 2 of our locations have got battery banks. And if you go off grid with battery bank, you're looking at around 90,000 to 110,000 rupees per kWh. The million-dollar question for all the business people here is, can I take my money out in 2 years, 3 years? The answer is no. You cannot take your money out in 2-3 years. You're looking at a return on your investment of 6 years. And if you're going to go on grid, and if you're going to go off grid, you're looking at an investment return is about 8 to 9 years. But remember, this massive amount of technology change in the cell photovoltaic system which is happening. Power storage systems are changing, so those numbers are going to change as the time goes by. So please watch this vertical. Please watch this vertical. Your ROI on grid and off grid may come down in the next 3 to 4 years time, but at least about 30% it will come down. Grid power versus solar power, which I've explained, looking at around 25 to 30% savage in your electricity bill month on month as an OPEX operation. Importance of solar, basically, all of us know what it is. One of the very important points which I do want to share here is all the utility companies in India is almost bankrupt. MSCB is bankrupt, BESCOM is bankrupt, KB is bankrupt, TNEB is bankrupt, Kerala Electricity Board is bankrupt. Why I'm bringing that issue is every year they're going to increase your tariff. Every year they're going to increase their tariff because they're all utility companies run by the state government. The state government has an objective of creating jobs, not running a profitable organization. So the utility companies will have a bad financial condition leading to continuous cost increase. If you have a HT line in your factory, you've got a line minimum charge, which is about 290, 200, 300 rupees per a kW. So many of our feed plants will be at 650, 1100, 1400 kW. So you're looking at almost about fixed charge also going up. We saw in Maharashtra it was 12,000 per kWh. It went to 26,000 per kWh as the line minimum charge last year. So your return on investment will change. It will come down. It'll yield your return faster. Importance of solar, all our aqua, dairy and poultry companies have got real estate. Please use it. We don't know the real estate is on top of your houses. Please use that, and it's massive amount of real estate. If you want to use the real estate on top of your house, when you build the house, please calculate the load of the panel on the house. So your conceptualization itself, it has to come. The solar has to become a part of your project design phase itself, so that your trusses, your beams, everything is loaded. Accelerated depreciation. As per the income tax, you get 40% depreciation. You make profits that year, you charge off 40% without paying. The income tax that you save, you're creating an asset for your organization. And after 7-6 years, electricity that produces is free of cost for you. Safety. Okay, there's a lot of automation going on in poultry. Lot of automation. Your feed lines are getting automated, your silos are getting automated, your houses are getting automated. What does it mean? All this automation has got printed circuit boards, ICs and chips. And if you have a grid connected power, they will change the RYB in a different phase. You must have experienced it. The voltage fluctuations are high. So when you have a voltage stabilizer to the entire campus with a solar, you're cleaning up the electricity before it gets into your campus. So your life of your equipment increases and your operational cost drops. I mean, your tube lights don't fuse out, your electronic systems don't fuse out. So you just don't look at the ROI investment of solar. You've got to look at the whole picture. Your maintenance cost comes down. Very low replacement cost. Clean energy, and you have to be a lot more responsible operator in the society. Practices in solar. Okay, some of us will say, I'm not going to put up this 50,000, 100,000 rupees from kWh. There are OPEX models. There are people in the industry where you give the land to them. They will install the entire solar system. They will produce a solar in your property and sell it to you. Meaning you're not putting capital investment. You can give your chicken house roof or the land that you have in a feed plant or the poultry. So if you can OPEX versus CAPEX. We have gone all CAPEX. Now we are looking at OPEX. Somebody will invest in your property. They will produce electricity. Your electricity cost is about 7 rupees 50 paisa, 7 rupees 60 paisa today on the public utility grid. And if you produce on solar, it should be between, they will probably sell you to you between 6 to 650. So you at least save about a rupee and 2 to 250 per unit. So you don't want to invest, you can go OPEX. Ground mounting, you've got a lot of land in your poultry and feed plants. You can mount the entire solar panels on the ground, or you can use your real estate. Preheating of water. This is something that we have done and we are planning to do, working out the number. We all generate steam for our pellet plants. For generating steam, you take the water in, you either fire diesel or briquettes or wood. Now, if you run the water through a solar heating system, you take the water from this level to this level, and then you heat it up here. So the quantity of the fuel you need to generate the steam is much less. Your OPEX will drop. So see, what I realized is, in poultry, on the egg and the chicken, you have no control on price. You have no control on price. What is it that we can control? Our cost. The only thing we can control and make money in our business is bring the cost down and down and down. That's the only thing. So that's what we thought. We'll preheat the water before it gets into the boiler, and the quantity of firewood that you need to take it up to the steam level is much lesser. Even if I save 15, 20, 30 rupees per ton on steam generation, If you're doing 8,000 tons every month, it just multiplies. This is something I wanted to share. Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund. There's a lot of push in the government by Delhi in adopting solar energy. If you apply for HIDF, just the solar plant, you will not get any benefit. But when you're doing a feed plant, when you're doing a chicken farm, or you're doing a hatchery, you make the solar as one of the line items in your project proposal, and then the whole project gets approved and the solar also gets approved. So think about how you can package it to get the government benefits. Extremely important in solar system, if you have the battery, you have to maintain the batteries. If you have the panels, you have to clean the panels once every 3 months. The problem we faced is, we failed in our company to maintain the panels. When you don't maintain the panels over 6 months, your solar, the electricity generation ability drops, massively drops. Then the people, you're running around yelling at people, and they say, sir, are we in the chicken business or are we in the solar electricity generating business? The answer is, we're in the chicken business. Then we said, look, if you want to maintain the entire solar system, we'll go and give an AMC, annual maintenance contract, to a solar company who will come and maintain it once a quarter. So we brought that, and we are monitoring the solar plant unit generation. It never drops. This is something, as a practice, we have adopted in our solar. Challenges in solar. Okay, oversizing of the plant. Everybody feels the solar cost is very high. This is a mistake we've done a couple of times. We assume everything running at the same time, which is not true. So when you're running lights, you run lights only in the evenings. You don't run in the mornings. When you're running the feeding lines, you're running it for 2 to 3 hours a day. So be very, very, very careful of making sure you don't oversize the solar plant. If you oversize the solar plant, your cost will go up. When the cost goes up, you're producing more electricity. And then you feed it into the grid, you only get 3 rupees 70 paisa. And when you pull it from the grid, you're paying 7 rupees 50 paisa. So it doesn't make sense for you to have a large solar plant, produce more, sell at a lower cost, and buy at a higher price, right? High initial investment is a challenge. Lack of knowledge of government support schemes, as I said, how do you package the solar as one of the component? Negative perception of people and companies. Even your pellet plant, when the power shuts down on the utility, the pellet plant jams. When the pellet mill jams, you take at least about an hour and a half, to clean up your downtime. Only for the pellet mill, you look at solar. You put a solar for the pellet mill for 15 minutes, your plant is not going to shut down. In 15 to 20 minutes, your generator comes on. Your plant is running 8 hours without a breakdown. And your capacity utilization, if the plant is rated at 10, you will at least reach 9.2 tons, 8.9 tons an hour. Periodic maintenance never is done by the companies. They just put solar plant and they say, kelsa madala, the units kadme barta ide. Come on guys, you need to maintain it. During the conversation with Dr. Devegoda, I had some inputs from Lifeline and Padmavati. I would like to thank both these organizations for giving their experience of using solar. They have also used solar with us, like us, and I have added their inputs in the presentation. Thank you to both the organizations.
You all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering, people are dying, entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
Business is not just about money, guys. Money is important. Each one of us sitting here have children. Many of us have got grandkids. Leave a world where they will not curse you. Leave a world where they will not curse you. Thank you.